Dear students, BA Part 2nd, Semester 3rd, Subject English Literature. In last video, we learned about literary terms. In these literary terms, we learn literary terms is ambiguity and archaism. In this video, we are going to learn next literary terms. So here next literary terms is euphuism. Euphuism is a conspicuously formal and elaborate prose style. So that is a style, but elaborate prose style. That is a magnificent prose style, and it is used in the prose. That is euphuism, which had a O in the 1580, and there is a too much demand to this literary term in 1580 in drama, prose, fiction, and there is a this term was used in drama, fiction, novel, etc. Also, the convention of English Code Circle. Also, this term is used in English Code Circle. It takes its name from the moralistic prose romance Euphues, The Anatomy of Wit. So that is the work. This work is written by John Lilly. Euphues, Anatomy of Wit. So first time this term is used in this work. Euphues, The Anatomy of Wit. And this work is written in 1578. So also remember. In the dialogue of this work and of Euphues is England 1580. After that this term is used in this work Euphues is England in 1580, as well as in his stage comedies. After that this term also used in comedies. Lilly exaggerate and use persistently a stylish prose which other writer and developed earlier. The style is a sentence that is a full of the moral maxim released on the syntactical branch of antithesis, reinforced and the structure parallels of heavy and elaborate patterns of alliteration and assonance. So here is also alliteration and assonance pattern is used while using this style euphuism. Here is a alliteration means same word repeat again and again, or assonance means here a vowel is repeated and repeat, means to use this term. So there is a alliterations or assonance of words are repeated. Reinforce the structure parallel by the heavy and elaborate pattern of alliteration and assonance. Exploit the rhetorical question. Also here is a in rhetorical questions is used has this term and is dedicated to long similes and long allusions which are often dropped by mythology. So here is also in simile this term is used. The supposed characteristic and habit of legendary animals. Here is a brief example from Euphues. The character Philantus is speaking. I see now that as the peas Polypidas in the third, Alarius in the vaccine of the. So here is a yes alphabet is repeated. So that is euphuism. So you remember this term and study properly. Next term is the Gothic novel. So Gothic novel, this term is used novel And Gothic novels means there's a novel is horror, dangerous, fear, ghost, like that. So that is a term is very famous in this era or in 18th century. So Gothic novel or an alternative term Gothic romance. So it is called as a Gothic romance. Is the word Gothic originally referred to the ghost as early. So Gothic word is referred to ghost. Ghost. Ghost means there is a disappeared man. As you know also ghost. And ghost means there is a horror. There is a means unknown palace. There is a horror palace. And like that, this is a type of the prose fiction which was inaugurated by the Horace Walpole's The Castle of Otranto, a Gothic story, 1764. Though this term first time used in Horace Walpole wrote The Castle of Otranto, a Gothic story, in 1764. So, to signify Germanic, the medieval Gothic architecture now denote the medieval form of the architecture characterized by the use of the high point and value of flying buttresses and intricate recesses which spread through the Western Europe between the 12th and 16th century. After that also this oral theme used in also in infrastructure like that. So another information of this term, see here, the subtitle denote in the setting in the Middle Age and the flourish to the early 19th century. After that, to give more scope in the 19th century to this term. Some writers follow Walpole's example by setting their story in the medieval period. Others set them a Catholic country, especially Italy or Spain. And after that, Italy or Spain writers also use this term in their work or literature. The local was often a gloomy castle furnished with the dungeons. So here is the theme or this term is related to there is a gloomy castle. Gloomy castle means darkness castle, darkness palace, furnished with the danger, subterranean passage and sliding panel. The typical story focus on the sufferings imposed on the innocent heroic by the cruel. So here is also innocent heroic is punished by cruel hero and lustful villain or lustful villain. So that is the means she was killed or she is guilty by cruel or lustful villain and made bountiful use of the ghost, mysterious disappearance and other sensational and supernatural occurrence. So here is like the ghost, there is a mystery, disappearance and other sensational and the supernatural occurrence are used in this Gothic novel. That's why it is a very horrorful novel. If you read The Castle of Otranto, a Gothic story, you understand what is this term, which in the number of the novels turn out to have natural explanation. The principal aim of such novel was to evoke chilling terror. There is a principle of this novel, evoke terror by exploiting mystery and variety of horrors. So like that means there is a terror is evoked by mystery and a variety of horrors. Many of them are now read mainly as a period pieces, but the best open of the fiction, the realm of the international and of the perverse impulses and nightmarish terrors that lie beneath the ordinary surface of the civilized man. So this is done. After that, William Beckford used this term in Vedic in 1786, and Radcliffe used this term in her work The Mysteries of the Udolpho in 1794. Next, Matthew Gregory Lewis used this term in her work The Monk in 1796. This is a term. You remember, you study properly. In next video, we will learn next literate term. Thank you.